Don't know what Jin is doing here.
Well,
he misses you.
Hello, and welcome to a gaming conversation with friends. We should be live. I don't know if we are.
Are we live? Are you just testing?
No, we should be live. It's actually we should be live.
Yeah, we're live.
Oh,
Yeah,
well, at least on YouTube we are.
we should be live on Rumble and X as well. I don't know if it's worked, but we are live on there. Welcome to Masuku, welcome to the Jinner, and welcome back from the dead, and welcome to Dreadpool. Thanks for joining the YouTube. I'm not used to this. The podcast in the chat. I mean,
this thing that we speak a lot on over the internet.
Yeah, at least I didn't say welcome to Midweek Gaming like I did the last show. I did when we had Animated Evil on, and then I sometimes kept going. Because over the years, I've nearly called you Animated Evil, and I don't even know why.
Numerous times,
yes.
you have, yes.
Yeah, I don't even know why. To
be fair, you generally try to call me something completely different every time we do this. You know, it does. It's not really a podcast if you can't, after years and years and years, know who I am.
Exactly.
It's just.
Well, welcome to UK.
Says, 6 minutes late.
UK Dazarus, yeah, that was me having to put the OBS back together because I've done something, maybe press update, but it didn't take long. But we have no affiliation with GamerHub anymore. In case I haven't mentioned it before, I won't say why. But the person I was involved with is no longer involved with GamerHub, so I'm not. I was only doing it because Lewis was involved with GamerHub. Now he's not. So
the Gina says, "Can we have lots of Pollux tonight? My batteries are burnt out, and he wants to get further on that." Well, I don't think we do.
So we've got BMG, who was very interested that we only had 2 people on. So I said, "Do you want to come on?"
You just bribed him with cookies and beer.
Well, I ain't got any of them.
I'd say he was rubbing Foster's on my nipples, and he was like, "Yeah, I'll do whatever you want."
It's the chocolate chip cookie that really got it, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was it. That was it. Where he put them, no, I can't discuss that.
It was the Foster's infused donut as well that does work it.
Oh, that sounds so. How good does that sound? A Foster's infused donut.
Yeah, well, to be fair, that's a good idea. That's.
I tried.
I'll tell you one thing. There's a company near us called. I don't know whether you've got them in your part of the woods. You probably haven't. They're expanding all over the UK. They must have some kind of backer. They're called Butterwick Bakery, and they tried loads of experiment. And they're the kind of people that would try and stick Foster's in a bloody donut. They would. I'm not saying they would, but they experiment with a lot. With a lot.
Of the night, you want a last beer, you want a donut. There you go.
I've tried. I've made Foster's ice lollies. They're nice. They're very nice.
Is that just basically putting a stick inside a can and then just leaving the can in the freezer?
Almost. How far off?
I'm not expecting you to kind of do it like as like a kid's lollipop with Foster's and then go, "Where's my lollipops? Oh, the kids had them." What?
What?
6 or 7 kids just on the floor, completely out of their skulls, pissed out of their scales. What happened there for me? Well, you didn't tell me.
Well, we got to have it sooner or later. Might as well start them young.
That's what our dad used to do. At the age of 11, I was having my first Foster's.
What do you mean you've never tried cocaine? Yeah.
If that.
Yeah, I'm here.
My day, we was absolutely trolleyed by the time we was 4.
Oh, you could go down to your local co-op and you could get a bottle of 2-litre White Lightning, £3.
You'd neck it before you even got back.
You were fucked. Good page stripper. Oh.
Yeah.
The classics.
The good old days, yeah.
Scrumpy Jack. Remember the old Scrumpy
Oh
Jack?
fucking hell, Scrumpy.
Oh,
when I was drinking the pubs, I used to have Snakebite and Black, and it used to be blackcurrant, Scrumpy, and Stella.
It was never. No, that's. Oh God, you got the lightweight version.
That's not lightweight.
That's
the
the
strong
lightweight
version.
You know what the proper version was of
What
Snakebite?
was it?
Snakebite was lager, Scrumpy, and cherry brandy, and they dropped the cherry brandy into the centre.
So some places call it diesel, do they? But a lot of places won't sell it because it makes people projectile vomit. So a lot of places won't serve it nowadays.
Well, the reason they stopped Snakebite was because 2 people died from it. Silly, that's all.
Oh, did they? They probably had
so
20
they could only
points
sell you it. So they got around it by selling it in. If you bought it individually, they could sell you it.
Back when I used to drink every week, they used to serve me regardless of it. But maybe it wasn't banned then. Maybe.
I remember it's a proper Scrumpy. He's like syrup as well.
With a hint of paint varnish.
Yeah, I don't really drink anymore. I don't.
What?
I don't at all. I tell you, I've got this health kick. You know, I'm into weightlifting and all that business. It's I don't honestly drink at all.
Bloody hell! I'll have me pint of can of Foster's in your name then.
Yeah, I may have
just
a couple.
One can.
I may have a couple at Christmas.
6 more.
But I do go pub without having drink as well. I like to have a meal and that. I don't actually have any drink. I'm weird, I know.
We all have our crosses to bear.
Vices.
Wow, I'm too into the fitness. I'm doing too well to saying a few beers won't mess it up, but I don't generally do it anymore. But
good for the brain cells.
It's the hangover. That's what I can't be dealing with.
Don't get hangovers. I'm hardcore.
I can't do hangovers. No.
Well, the trick is to, when you wake up, have a pint first thing in the morning. You won't have a hangover.
There.
Or a shot of brandy.
Yeah.
That's what I was always. Or a good trucker's calf fry up. Good trucker's calf fry up was perfect.
So Gina's saying the Turbo Shandy will be mine back in the day. Half a pint of lager and a Smirnoff Ice mixed in a pint glass. Deadly stuff. He's put
Smirnoff Ice. Dear God. That's like he's he's like next he'll be saying he's been drinking baby shit.
Do they still sell Smirnoff Ice in pubs now?
Like, they do, but it's like that's a kind of a
no. What I know. No, what I mean is
to...
the Alka-Pops. They still sell that nowadays.
Oh God, yeah. Blue, was it Blue?
I've not
Blue
seen
Wicked. Blue Wicked.
Oh, is it Blue Wicked?
But that's not the same. That's a different company. Smirnoff. They still sell the Alka-Pop, but they used to be like a white
Smirnoff
cloudy
Ice.
colour. Yeah,
Smirnoff Ice. Yeah,
I've just not seen it.
Yeah.
I've still not seen it. I've not seen it in long. Normally it's WKD. It is.
You see it all
the rip-off version of it usually.
You got to remember the old White Lightning. That was a good one for you. A few of those.
Yeah, you're not wrong, Daz. Back in the day, you would have drunk us probably all under the table. Daz used to be big drinker. He did. the best Daz casts ever. Then you can't listen to them anymore when Daz is drunk. They were really good shows. They were legendary. But he's made sure you can't get them anymore. He's archived them and he's got them backed them up, but you can't listen to them. Legendary Dazcasts they were. There's one Dazcast that's super legendary. It go down in history books. It will. No, it's really good. That one was. I don't want to get Daz into trouble, but it's a really cool one that no one can actually see unless you were watching it there at the time. There was video available as well, and it's nothing rude either. It was just a fun to see.
They all say that until they decide to pop the old can out the backside again.
Yeah. Watch me open this can.
It's not rude.
No, it weren't that. It was. But yeah,
Use
so
this nutsack to open a can again.
We've all been there.
I reckon. Yeah. Well, no. To be fair, I mean, I don't think Daz really drinks much anymore. Suki, so.
Well, while we're on the subject of drinking, what is the worst thing that you've done or that's happened to you when you've been drunk, like blind drunk?
Oh, that's easy. That's I've got two occasions where one where I was working at Sainsbury's and I was so out of my skull. I got asked to leave Sainsbury's by the boss, and then got asked to go back in the next day. And he said, "There's only one reason why I can't fire you. You clocked in 32 times. You clocked out 47 times. So technically, you wasn't working." So I can't fire you. And I was like, "Oh, okay."
I'll drink to that.
I'm a happy drunk, but I think one of the customers was starting to piss me off, so I told him to go swing a hook. I'm a very happy drunk, so yeah.
Still?
But yeah, that was.
I'll be honest.
Sorry,
yeah.
move on. Carry on. Sorry.
And then the last one was while I was in France and Bulgaria, and because it was so cheap, I had a shot of everything on the wall. We just put a shot of everything on the wall into a glass, and I necked it.
Oh,
And I think that
Damn.
there was about 60 different alcohols on that glass. On the back, like a standard bar with like loads of different bottles of alcohol at the back there. Did a shot of that. We even put a shot of milk in with it as well. It was bright green, if I remember correctly, and people were just like, "This is going to kill you." It didn't, but
Yeah.
God, that's crazy.
Didn't have a hangover, so that was actually the only thing. Yeah, I didn't have a hangover for some reason. But yeah, there was some good days back in the day. But I like the people I was hanging around with were much older than me and probably alcoholics. So like one of the guys I knew was a cabbie, and he spent his paycheck on getting absolutely wasted on Bacardi Cokes, and it was like he'd put away 300 quid within about an hour,
Fucking hell.
Jesus.
And I was with him. He was like my drinking buddy, so. You can imagine what we were kind of we were drinking at the time. But I was young, didn't bother me at the time, didn't kick. It's like, yeah. Can't do that now, though.
What about you, Stubs?
See, the problem is, it's like when I used to go raving, because I used to go raving, and it's when I got that drunk, literally, I got carried out. Well, I woke up in the van on the way home. Something like that. I don't really remember it. Huh?
Have you never woken up with your head first face into a bunch of steam nettles?
No, I haven't done that. I'll tell you one thing, I do remember one time.
You sound like you've had more of a very light.
What do you say?
You were very light on your experiences then. It was like, he got pissed, woke up in a van.
Well,
I think if I'd met you when I was younger, I think we would have been very we got you into some very awkward positions.
But no, it was more like things like it wasn't. I mean, I tell you one thing I noticed about like when I used to go when I was younger. People used to travel to places and go to raves and clubs and that. Well, now where I live, the young ones, they don't seem to. Whether it's a COVID thing, I don't know. But they don't seem to really leave the area. They kind of just go in the same pubs. Yeah, but there is places to go and all that. But they all seem to just stay in the same area nowadays.
You forgot to realise was like the reason why most people left their town or village was to pull. Once like yourself, once you'd gone through, your local village, what you need to try and find some different girls, and so therefore you had to go to a different area to see these different girls. So a lot of people kind of went out and spread out a bit to try and widen their girlfriend net, as they would try and argue. So back in the day when people were talking to each other, you'd like, right, okay, widen it out, go to the next village, go to the next town.
Yeah,
It was that was the only way you could meet and talk to different girls.
Very true. Very true.
So now he's mentally or just in the chat.
I just saw he's put in chat. Be right back. So I don't know if that was just made for us or for the chat.
That's probably for both, to be honest with you. He's gone for a poo. You know what he's like. No, but I mean, it was though. It was, wasn't it? Back in the old day, you'd go out and you'd literally, there'd be only so many, people in your village or town, and you didn't. How was the poo?
It wasn't. I was making a drink for my son. Welcome to Daft Practice. Thanks for dropping in.
The voices of voices.
Yeah. But no, it's all my mates used to be loads of us used to have it used to be like a pickup truck, and we got stopped a couple of times, but he built a transport thing, so we all sat in no seatbelts or no. I only got caught once, and we all had to go and sit and get the train back. But it usually fit about 7 or 8 of us all sat in the back with he had like a cover over it.
Next to go, there was a mattress in the back there.
No. You used to go all the way around the country and shit like that to go raving. I was probably the only drinker out of the lot. Everyone else done the silly stuff. I didn't. But it was believed at that time, I told you about where I got drunk. It's believed that they believe somebody spiked me. They do, with something. Because they said that weren't normal. Because I don't remember it.
You got date raped.
Well, nothing happened to me. They made sure, but
you can remember.
Yeah, nothing.
It was a sore bum, but that was it really. That's the curry beforehand.
But no, it's a lot of raving and a lot of the rave scenes basically gone now. It has. It's not like it was.
I don't know. It's like I think they're still about. They're just not as profound. They're like you go to different places. Like if you're near London, there's loads of still rave
Yeah, well,
super.
No, I used to go to super clubs though that I fit 2,500 people in. That don't happen weekly now. I used to go to different ones every weekend, and they don't happen really anymore. Like I used to go Club Air in Birmingham. Whether it's still called Club Air in Birmingham, it's in Blackheath. I don't know if it's still there. It probably is. I don't know. It was in quite a dodgy area, but all clubs are. But I remember the security once, right? This lad, because there used to be a lot of lads from Liverpool, Birkenhead actually, and one weed on the door, right? Has having a wee on the fire exit door, and the cleaner bloke went and told security and pointed at him. Well, he had to go and sit in the train station. The security wouldn't let him in. They were like, he was showing him his passport and everything for ID because he looked like he was 15. Nah, mate, that's fake. You're not coming in. Sorry.
Your name's not Stubz. You're not coming in.
There were fucking big bouncers there, mate. Bloody big bouncers in there. They used to shove people over, mate, for no reason, just to get through.
I was always friends with the bouncers. I didn't get on with.
Really?
If you got on good friend terms with the bouncers, you're pretty much guaranteed to get in the club. I never had a bad issue with the bouncers. It was just as long as I think they don't want trouble. They don't want their job. They don't want to piss around with their job. They want the easy ride. So if you're like a happy drunk, that's good. That's good for them.
Unless you're certain. To be fair, I mean, I think at that time it wasn't so much the ones I went to. It was like there was used to be one at the custard factory, like drum and bass events. And there was a certain gang. I'm not mentioning the name, but a certain gang in Birmingham. When this gang turned up, they just let them in. It's not worth it.
They always had their what classifiers the locals, but it's it was a different time back then. You know, things were like, you know,
Yep, and here I am now, and 40 next month, turning 40 next month.
old, very
no.
old now.
Oh.
Yeah, turning 40. It feels so weird. It's really fucking weird. At 30, I was happy with it, but I'm not happy with turning 40 at all. It's
It all goes downhill from here. Yeah, start weeing a lot more.
I do anyway because the stuff I'm on, but I don't. But with my training, but it is what it is. You know, my son turns 10, I turn 40.
Getting old, mate. Getting old.
Well, apparently
Yeah,
not. Apparently I'm not old.
possibly
Apparently
soon.
I'm not old compared to you. You keep telling me how young I am.
You are.
You must be at least 60 then, if you keep calling me that young.
You're a little bit of an ickle boy, aren't you? Compared to some of us.
You probably
See, Praxis is 50. See,
in your photo on
And
WhatsApp, you look so young, but then you told me that's a very old photo.
that's a very old photo. That's a reason.
need to get-
for that,
you
'cause
need
it hasn't been changed for like 30 odd years.
You need to bloody put a different picture up because it's deceiving.
That's exactly why I leave it on there.
No, to be fair, I've seen pictures of you at EGX, and you didn't look much different to the picture, really.
Oh, I do. I think I've just it depends on it is, isn't it? I've definitely gotten more grey hair as time has gone on. But that's having kids for you.
Well, I've never had any grey hair.
You wait, it will happen.
It can
won't.
it can happen at 20. It can. I know a few people it happened to.
I'm bald. I don't know.
Oh, that's true. Yeah,
I've
no.
got bald, but still got fucking grey hair. I have to keep having to cut it off again. I do.
Well, the trouble is, you know, your grey hair's around the backside probably now. That's the reason why you can't see it. And anyone who knows about who will get that joke as well. There's a particular Irish comedy that I was talking about that.
Yeah, I just laughed. I don't actually know what you're on about. I don't
Really,
know.
you did? Oh God, Father Ted.
Oh, Father Ted. Yeah, I know what you're on about.
Yes, there was a particular joke in it, isn't it? He's like, you know, what do they call Father Ted? That was a joke. It was the thing they used to call him.
Apparently, you're a catfish, BMG.
I'm a what?
You're a catfish, according to Ginner. You're only 15, yet you got children.
All my kids are grown up.
Well, adults.
I'm a granddad now.
I meant adults. Sorry, that's what I meant.
I've got a 7-month-old grandson now.
Nice. That's really good.
Yeah, you're old now, Granddad.
Yeah, that's it.
I bet you're really soft, Grandad, ain't you? You probably treat them and everything. I bet.
Granddad, we love you.
He's only 7 months old.
Well, I bet you still treat.
He loves Bluey. You know that.
Oh yeah, I know that one.
I seen a big Bluey teddy, so I bought him that.
Oh, you wait until he likes Sonic.
No,
yeah, he will. He will.
He won't, because I'd just disown him.
It's gonna happen, and then before you know it, it'll be Granddad in his Sonic PJs coming over to give you a big cuddle with his Sonic teddy bear.
Yeah,
and his knuckles, you know.
Yeah.
Pillow.
I was distraught. My son told me that, according to the movies, that Sonic's girlfriend Amy's not alive no more. I was like, "Are you joking?" He told me. He said, "No, she died." Because I collect Sonic figures. I do. He's trying to collect them, but I said they look better on my shelf. But he's not having it.
You stole his stuff.
No, I haven't yet. It's in there. I haven't yet.
You just wait.
This is for Christmas, but it's just going to sit on my shelf for the whole period. Okay.
You ever misbehave?
You can look at it. Don't touch.
Well, apparently, Luke turns 11 next month. If BMG's 15, he's 11. He's saying.
Luke is younger than me. I know he's
younger than me. He's younger than all of us. He is.
He's
youngsters.
He's the king of Jersey.
He is.
Lives in a castle. Spends more time with Kojima.
He does. He went.
no one
Oh,
else.
look. Did you listen to that podcast when he was talking about Japan? Did you listen?
Yeah, yeah.
I thought it was so good. He actually went in the canteen hoping Kojima would roll by. But to be fair, had he rolled by, that would have been so cool.
He's met him. I don't care what he says. He's had a secret meeting.
He
It's a
has,
secret photo that he won't put online.
Yeah, it's like, look,
It's on the
Kojima,
wall.
I can protect your interests in Jersey. You need me.
Oh yeah, that's it. He's going to make sure it's everything. It's the capital of Japanese culture in Jersey.
Oh yeah.
It is now.
It is.
He's selling. He's opening a shop now, or a bar. It's a Japanese themed bar. He's opening it.
Yeah.
Has anyone played? I don't know whether it's BMG's thing. I know it's RemovableSanity's thing. Have you ever played this new game on Game Pass? Not exactly. MechWarrior 5 Clans. BMG.
I haven't played MechWarrior since the second one, which is going back a long time. Long time.
Well, this
I have seen the new one. I do fancy trying it, but it's just getting the time. But I've got so much to play, and I'm really, really big on Black Ops 6 at the moment. So
I know. See, did Xbox do an update? Because I used to look at my friends list and see you, but it says apparently I was following you. I wasn't your friend on Xbox.
It's a weird system. It's a weird, isn't it?
Because like it says I'm not friends with UK Dazarus 5 years ago, but then I must have just been following him. I probably got to press add friend because it's wiped loads of my list out. So I must have just been following them and not friends with people.
No, but it's weird because it's like you send a request, someone accepts it, and then once you follow, then you're meant to do a friend's request. But they're changing all that, aren't they? They're doing away with following, and it's just friend requests now.
That'll be why then. That's why then, because I must have been following you without knowing. I thought I was friends, obviously. I'll have to send you a request. But that is MechWarrior Clans. I'm actually liking it. And yes, Removable, I have, and Luke Steele completed the tutorial. I'm ready to do my first proper mission as a.
I will say, to be honest with you, compared to the controls of MechWarrior Mercenaries, the control system's much easier.
Oh, I can actually play this game. That MechWarrior 5 on the Game Pass. Because I said to you, I'm really struggling to actually control the mech.
They've definitely. The only thing I would say is the
graphics is much better.
I would tweak the controls for one of the things. I think it's like right bumper, and then another. You have to press another button as well to try and do this.
Wherever it is here, I'm not here in the game. Wherever this is, I'm not there. This is a trailer thing.
Oh, this is much further down the line. Yeah, I would say you can remap some of your your weapons as well. So remap your weapons to different triggers as well. So, like, do you right trigger with X maybe if you find that's like right trigger and right bumper is a little bit too much complicated.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a much more.
I'm going to play it again.
I would say this is a much more first-time friendly control system.
Definitely, I agree because I struggled with the other one. I couldn't do it.
Yeah. Well, the other one is your traditional.
I was fighting with a controller last time. I was like, this fucker won't move properly. I'm sorry, going the wrong way.
Yeah, well, that was the traditional.
No, it does offer that though. It says classic. If you want the classic control, the classic way, it does offer it.
That's why I thought I'd try the
fucking
new way to see what it's like. And actually, it is a lot easier, but there is a lot more here. So I think, I mean, there's much more story-based line on this one as well. It's a much more story-driven.
Because I'm playing campaign, I thought it was just a multiplayer, an online thing, but it's not.
Never the first.
It's not.
No, the other one wasn't really. The other one was also was like you do a little bit of the storyline, but it was it's all open world. Choose your missions and stuff. It's very much open world sort of thing. Where this one's I think is a little bit more curated, and I think that's going to help it out a little bit. What I do like about Piranha is they will keep updating and adding DLC for this for years.
I'm surprised that you haven't got a review code off them, or have you?
No, I haven't. No,
Wow, okay.
I have literally. I've got so much at the
You'd
moment.
probably-
some things I just haven't decided to request.
You'd probably get this. You would, I'd say.
Well, but yeah, I've been playing the tutorial of it, sort of thing. So I've done the tutorial, I've gone through it, sort of thing. But I've just got other things that have been in the pipeline that I've just got to try and push through and keep things through. There's only so much time I can kind of put aside.
No, I understand that.
It's like some of these things.
Because you got to do reviews and everything. There's loads of games. I don't know what's coming out now. I buy a game in Warhammer and I ain't played it again since I spent 60 quid. So every time I spend money, I stop playing it. So if I don't buy I've not bought this, I might play more of it. I might.
That's the thing. I think there is. I think it's. This should be more easier for people.
Need VJ to return, so maybe you and Masuku can play with VJ.
Yeah,
we do. If you're listening, VJ, come back. You won't be listening though, but if you come on, we'll just play some. We do. We'll of this.
But it's yeah. I think I'm enjoying it. It's definitely it's definitely easier for new people to get into the game compared to the other one. I think it may annoy some of the old school fans, but because you said they've got the classic,
that's probably
classics control system on there that might keep them back into it as well. But no, it's a very good. I think there is some issues with the Unreal 5 though. They've got to patch it, but Piranha's pretty good at patching. As I said, they literally only just stopped doing DLC for the last one. I think about a couple of months before this came out.
With the DLC, obviously you have to pay per DLC.
It is pay per DLC, but
right, I don't mind that. No.
What I would say is though, so for instance, they do pay DLC, but then they add in updates across the board. So for instance, on the other one, they gave everybody the ability to, because originally you couldn't swap between mechs. They gave everybody the ability to swap between mechs, but they gave you only people. Then you buy a brand new mech and brand new stories and modes and stuff like that. So modes generally they will pass across everybody for free. But particular mechs, particular storylines, particular rewards, that's what you're buying. So it's you're not feeling as if you're missing out, which is in terms of the modes. But if you really want the full experience, then you have to pay for it, which is fine because that's it's a choice sort of thing then. And generally, most of the time after the DLCs are done, about 3 or 4 months or 6 months, they come down in price anyway. So and they're not expensive to be fair. They're only about like 7 or 8 quid.
Oh, that's a fair price for a DLC.
Yeah. So I think when they first come out, I think about 11 or 12, but then they drop down to about 7 or 8 quid pretty quickly. And as I said, generally the modes they give it to everybody free of charge. So that thing, I think in some cases, you can also join people with DLC as well, so you can get a taste of the DLC if you've got a friend who's got the DLC. Now, I don't know if they're going to continue that with this one, but that's what they used to do. So it's a much more easier way, I think, and to try and get people into buying DLC if necessary.
Yeah, no, it's a good way of doing it. It is definitely going to play more. But again, when I say definitely, sometimes doesn't happen. But I am interested
next year
in playing more. Yeah, I was struggling with what to play, and I thought can't play any games.
You've got the new game out from Kojima. We were talking about that. Death Stranding. It's out for you.
Is that on the Xbox? It is, isn't it? Yeah.
And probably but it came out a week ago, isn't it right?
No, it was only a couple of days ago.
Was it
Friday?
The tears.
Was it Friday?
Can you hear that? Can you hear them tears in BMG's voice? Because it's come to PC and Xbox.
It still plays better on PlayStation. It has the haptic.
No, from Digital Foundry, what they were saying, they said it was almost exactly the same.
Almost exactly the same. Almost.
Yeah, they said
Almost.
there's bits the PlayStation does better, there's bits the Xbox does better. They said it's
We-
in terms of
Luke will pipe
you
in
can
now.
do
I
it.
know he will. I know he's going to say something.
This is the way it goes, right? Because to all the PC peasants out there and
PC
the,
Master Race.
right? What happens is everyone says, "Oh, PC's the best." Oh, I've spent £1,000 on my RTX 490.
You would not get one for that price, I can assure you.
Right? And all that stuff. But all will sit at the end of the table, just underneath it, begging for the PlayStation games. Please, sir, please let us play your games. And once PlayStation's extracted everything they can from, they're like, "Oh, go on, you peasants. Here, have you can play God of War now, peasants. You can play Spider-Man now, you peasants. Death Stranding. Oh, we've had everything out of that. Go on, peasants of the PC."
Well, actually,
Xbox,
that's
have a
not
go.
the actual truth, is it? Because Kojima basically got his company back and said, "Look, no, I'm putting wherever I want."
Yeah, I believe he. Because
So that's not
Sony-
really true,
so
is it?
Sony owned the IP.
Yeah.
Obviously, whatever deal's gone on. Then, to be honest, no one's ever going to tell Kojima no, aren't they? Look what happened.
Exactly. To be fair,
Yeah. And
I never actually understood why I understood why he was locked in with Sony, because it gave him the funds, it gave him the ability to do what he wanted. But I think with him, you could always see that he wanted. It was going to be inevitable that he was going to branch out and do his own thing. Like when he first started doing his games, he had he had the time to do his own games, but he didn't have the funds. So when he moved in with big publishers, he got the funds, but then he didn't have the freedom to do what he wanted. And so it was like another. It was basically he was going to come back to where he was, 20 odd years ago. When he first started making games. And I suspect it'll come back to where he's now happier, isn't he? He's going to be. I think a little bit was he felt a little bit of his creative freedom being stifled. I think now, you're going to see a little bit more of what he wants to do.
But Sony didn't restrict him. Sony didn't restrict him.
No. Well, no, they didn't restrict.
They just gave him the money and said, "Do what you want."
Yeah, to a degree, there was some restrictions. He has mentioned that it was as close to open freedom as possible, but it wasn't true freedom, if that makes sense.
No.
So, like when he first started, I mean, if you remember some of his very early games, like Snatcher,
Is that
those sorts of games, the dark, brooding kind of devastating, almost brutal games in some cases, I think he kind of feels like he wanted to go back to that. And I think they were, whilst they were willing to give him money, I think in some cases there was some restrictions there. Well, I think now he has that choice to just go, right, I am going to be as creative freedom as much as I want. And in fairness, Sony's had done well out of the deal anyway. It's not as if they haven't done well out of the deal. They've every Metal Gear Solid, every Metal Gear game, they haven't done, they haven't done badly out of it at all. So I think, and he'll go multi-platform.
It will. They're not going to tell him no. Like say, he wanted the IP. Clearly, wanted the IP. He got it. Sony weren't going to tell him no because no one else was going to make a game like that. So it's like, yeah, you want it. Fair enough.
Plus, I think they don't want to sour the friendship they've got with him.
Well, no, because they've got obviously Death Stranding 2. I think will be exclusive for, let's just say, a period of 6 months minimum. 6 months is
maybe
going to be.
Yeah, I suspect maybe a year and a half or something.
It's probably going to be longer, but let's just say for minimum of 6 months, then you're going to see it come to PC, you're going to see it come to Xbox, and then once Death Stranding 2 is done, because they have already started pre-production. Is it pre-production on this? How do you pronounce it? The exclusive he's doing for PlayStation, is it Fizzant?
I think it's, I think so.
Something like that. Whatever weird code name is picked for this one that's working out of Sony Studios in for the movie, because obviously it's going to be this whole movie game thing, so that's going to be interesting.
He's always wanted to do movies anyway. It's one of the things that he's kind of lent towards it. So,
and that I think is owned by Sony. Sony actually own the rights to this new IP because it's apparently it's going to be more than a game, and there's going to be more connected to it after the game. So it's
I wouldn't be surprised if they tie a movie into it.
yeah, I think that's the idea.
It's basically, I think if I remember correctly, it's a franchise. It's a brand new franchise, which, as you said, Sony owns either majority of the IP or the whole IP.
Yeah, I'd love to see if they do what Quantum Break did. I'd love another game like that, where you play the game, then does the TV show, and the TV show episode you see is based on the decisions you made in the game. I'd love something like that. I think that's very underutilized.
The last time that was done, that was actually, I'm trying to think of it. Christ, now it was oh god, it was a TV series. It's like a Wild Western with aliens.
I know the one you're on about, and I can't remember the name. It was a good few years ago, but I know exactly the thing you're on about.
Yeah, you know exactly what I'm on, and it was was a really good series, actually, really good series. And it didn't kick off as much as well it should do, but it was on it's on the Xbox 360, it's on PlayStation, but it's also then I think recently, about a couple of years ago, they kind of ported it to the Xbox Series X sort of thing. But I can't think what is it called, and it was yeah.
I know exactly what you're on about.
It was in San Francisco. Was it Is the Arches with San Francisco? It was all in the future. It's an alternative where aliens had arrived and they had a war, and now it is like oh god, that's really going to frustrate me.
We're gonna have to try and find it. I know exactly what you mean, but I can't tell you the name of it.
It had some really. Do you know the reason what really got me? It got me close to it was the brown shirts. If you remember, it was close to oh god, it was what I'm thinking of now. Brown shirts. It's that's really frustrating. God, they did 2 films. What was the bloody thing? Firefly. It had a very similar Firefly vibe to it. And that's one of the things I kind of really got into it. It was it's going to be really annoying now. I'm sure it was set in San Francisco or something in the future or something. It was really good, and it was one of those ones that tied in really well because the reason that had the game, but every episode then set up a whole load of new missions based on the TV. So you basically then would get rewards based on the TV episode, but you'd also get missions based on the TV episode. So once you watch the TV episode, you'd be like, "Oh, how's this going to affect the real world that was in the game?" And it was brilliant, absolutely, really well done.
Yeah,
that's gonna be fun.
I've just tried searching the name. I can't find it. It's really annoying. But yeah, I know exactly what you mean. I just don't know the name.
That's the thing, isn't it? It's like a sci-fi series set in I think it was San Francisco.
I can't find it.
But it was the Archers. It was oh god.
Ask AI.
Defiance.
Ask AI the answer.
Oh yeah. Oh, hang on. Sorry, we're gonna have to pull up some
Defiance.
info on it. Yeah,
It's Defiance.
Yeah, let's bring
2013 to 2015. Defiance. That was it. Superb game, and actually a really superb series that worked really well with everybody. Yeah, Defiance it was called. There you go.
Thanks, Staff Practice, for popping in, mate. Appreciate that. I'll speak to you soon.
But
Defiance was a science fiction themed persistent world, massively multiplayer online, third-person shooter, developed by Trion Worlds. Defiance took place on a terraformed Earth several years into the future. It was a tie-in to the TV show of the same name.
Mm-hmm.
That's
and
it.
I actually completed it and I had almost every single because you also got some like special armors and special stuff and vehicles that tied into the actual TV show. So by the time it finished, you got some fantastic sort of like. But it was also an MMO, so you basically would have 60 players all just attacking some of these monsters as well. And it was really well done.
And sadly, it's no longer supported or operational. So yeah.
Is that on Xbox 360? Because I think it got ported to Xbox Series, so I think it is still. I don't know if the servers are still up.
The sci-fi series ran from 2013 to 2015. Was cancelled after its third season due to declining ratings and viewership. Despite a dedicated fan base, the show struggled to maintain strong numbers. Which was
I think it got moved over in 2020 from
yeah,
Xbox 360.
I can't see anything to say it's still playable.
Because it did, yeah. Maybe the servers are offline now then.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, because there's like comments from a year ago saying they've got fond memories of it when it was up and running. So yeah, I don't.
Because the 360 version worked really well, and then it definitely got ported over to the Xbox Series. So yeah, it was a really good. It's one of those ones again. It can be done. It's a series that ties in with a game that ties in with a TV series can be well done. It's just got to be maintained well, thought out well, and planned well. As I said, one of the things that you saw is that you watch the series, you'd watch that episode of that day, and then literally 3 days later, it would all be fed into the game world, and the game world you would then enjoy playing, with friends and stuff, making, So it can be done very well, and I think it's, depending on what Kojima wants.
There is one called Defiance 2050, which is
it.
Yeah.
So that was the one they ported over. It's basically the same game, but they just ported it over.
Yeah, but it won't. But like I was just looking on Steam. Steam won't give you access to it, but that's all free to play. So yeah.
Yeah, it became a free to play game effectively.
Fond memories.
Yeah, but I think it's we'll be interested to see what he comes up with next. But I'm one of these guys who wants games to cross-platform, 3 or 4 years down the line after they've kind of been, used anyway. I'm happy for it. I'm happy to try Death Stranding now after, multiple years that PlayStation are enjoying it. I have no problem with that. I think, the same thing should happen to Xbox passing over to PlayStation. I think, 3 or 4 years down the line, there you go. Why not? It's only going to be more money for everybody. In the end, you get a whole fresh new fan base for it. That re-energizes the franchise again for maybe that fan base, and that's going to be helpful as well. So, you think about it now for the Xbox fan base, they're going to be re-energized for Death Stranding, which means they'll be interested for the second one potentially.
Yeah,
that's a franchise that is less more money into the pocket of the developers, which means that then in the end, that franchise will continue longer. So, yes, maybe one platform, another platform gets it first, but at the end of the day, that's uplifting the developer and it's pushing get more of that decent franchises and continuing them.
Yeah,
it's only a win-win for everybody.
Of course. Yeah. Have you played Death Stranding yet?
I haven't. No, I haven't. It's one of those ones I'm going to try and grab because it's actually quite cheap. It's about 17 quid.
Yeah,
at the moment it's half price. Yeah, so I was like, oh, okay.
It's one of them games that you don't need a lot of thought into it. Yeah, it's got Kojima's crazy storytelling, characters and things like that, but it's pretty much a glorified futuristic parcel delivery game. You've got to balance
Postman Pat in post-apocalyptic world. Yeah,
it literally is. You've got to balance your parcels because you'll see a lot saying how the Stranding's connected and all that. And the idea is like I don't know so much on the Xbox side how it connects to PlayStation, if it does or doesn't. But on the PlayStation side, everyone that's played it, they place ladders down, ropes down, roads.
It's if I remember correctly, it's an evolving world depending on how many people are playing it, isn't it? It's a hub world effectively, and everyone keeps you could get shortcuts if people put down a shortcut for you, you'll get shortcuts sort of thing.
That's it.
I suspect they'll probably do an Xbox only server. To be fair, it makes sense,
If you like Kojima's games and how he tells stories and things, you'll like it. It's out of this world. It's a bit out there, but it's a fun game. It's a game you can play if you like relaxing. You don't have to pay overly loads of attention. It's a beautiful world, things going on, the details, the graphics. It is a good game.
You have to pay attention, so I might be all right.
Yeah, but if you try and when you because you've got to go for a shower, you can
Oh,
shower
okay.
and all that. But if you try and zoom the camera down on Norman Reedus' Never Regions, he lifts the camera up and slaps it.
Does he?
So funny.
Why
Yeah,
does that not surprise me that you kept trying to zoom in into his groin?
I wanted to see
Yeah,
that man's got cute
doesn't
buttocks.
surprise me. It doesn't surprise me.
He's got cute buttocks.
You wanted to see his chipolata, didn't you?
That's it. That's it. They don't call him Captain Tripod for no reason.
Exactly. But no, I think it's good. I think it's the fact that these sort of games are going across. I think I'd like to see these sort of games switching across. One thing that I've always really frustrated me about Sony is they've got some really good franchises that I believe they're not tapping into. And my best franchise for Sony was Killzone. I am an absolute Killzone fanatic.
You're never going to see it
The
again.
last one was I absolutely did not like at all. Really didn't like it.
Shadowfall, was it? Shadowfall, the last one that was
Yeah,
a launch game on
really-
the PlayStation 4.
Yeah, it really felt like a watered down version of Killzone. Like Killzone, like the first one is amazing because it also had split routes which you could take depending on the character. The second one they upgraded the multiplayer. The multiplayer was fantastic, really good. That's what's really, really confused the hell out of me. Killzone's 2 and 3's multiplayer was at the time, and this is a guy who loved Call of Duty as well. I would have put it on par with Call of Duty at the time because it was that good. So to see them kind of become almost, as you said, single player orientated, when there was a franchise that had a really good multiplayer game, and it was beloved as well. I mean, the amount of times I would get on that game and just meet random people and have a fantastic multiplayer experience. It was definitely on par with the Call of Duty. And then it kind of, like the Shadowfall, it kind of just like pitted out. It's like I don't know, it lost the brutal touch.
Yeah.
It lost the rawness of it. It was kind of, it's in the future, shiny, shiny, lovely, lovely. And it's like, ugh.
Yeah.
There is a reason why it went so well, because you saw, the bad guys in it did have the very Nazi-esque sort of armor. You could tell the bads and goods, and then it was the first one is still one of my favorites in it because it had also some great voice actors in it. But also, it was just the characters themselves were really thought out and fleshed out. And again, I'm really surprised how that was one of my best multiplayer experiences on PlayStation. And it's a franchise that could easily, if they went back to its core game, if they just looked back at if they looked back Killzone 1 or Killzone 2, saw what they did right there. Because I think if you play it's Killzone 2's might play now, you'd still have a great time.
Yeah. Sadly,
I think
not coming back. They've already said they were asked about it in a interview. They said they've moved on from Killzone. They're not remaking older games. They're not going further in the franchise. They're all in on the Horizon.
And I think they need to pass it on to someone else because that is a franchise that is ripe. I don't care, even if Sony doesn't take it on board, pass it to someone who will take that franchise and run with it again. Even if it's on PlayStation, because I think, to be honest with you, it's a fantastic franchise that just I can't think of any other franchise at the moment that would really go well head to head with Call of Duty. That was one of them. It was one of them for me. That was, as someone who who was a Call of Duty fanatic, that should be saying something for you. I mean, I feel Call of Duty is a bit stale.
Have you played the new one?
Years. Battlefield, yeah. To be fair, I haven't played the latest one yet. Maybe the latest one's better, but I just felt it was like just repeating the same old stuff.
It's back to form. If you were a fan of Call of Duty in the past, you would enjoy this one, especially the story. I like the campaign.
I've had a little go. It is quite.
Espionage. It's really good.
I had a little go. He's quite good.
I was more multiplayer. As I said, put it this way, I was the one who got the golden sniper rifle.
Nice.
That
wow.
tells
you really were.
That tells you where I was. You know, that's how addicted I got to it, where I had literally the golden sniper rifle. And if those who don't know about Call of Duties, how it was in the old days, you couldn't, the golden sniper rifle, or actually golden weapon out of all of them, you had to do a series of brutal challenges on every single weapon, every upgrade of that weapon, before you could move on to the next weapon, and that's how you finally get to the top, to the very top tier. So if you ever got the golden version of that weapon, you had gone through about 50 weapons prior to that, and multiple different challenges per weapon of those as well. So you probably went through about 350 challenges, and these are like stuff like get 50 or 80 kills with it in a particular way. So, you know, it was an absolute brutal nightmare. So when I finally did get the golden weapon, which ironically was actually the worst weapon, because you could be spotted. You could easily be spotted with the golden sniper rifle from anywhere. But because I knew most of the hiding places and little spots around the maps and stuff like that, by that time you were just like, I was brutal. It was absolutely brutal. I definitely made a lot of people rage quit, put it this way. I was definitely an absolute bastard. I was generally an absolute git. I'd be I'd be the guy that, jumps on the edge of a map, jumps onto like a bit of, a see-through wall, and then get up to really random spots on the map that most people couldn't get to, and then just sit there and be an absolute shitbag, popping them off left, right, and centre, and they'd be firing and throwing things at me, and I'm behind this, I don't know, see-through wall, which they can't see. They can't, for some reason, can't be gotten through. It can only fire at a certain angle, but I'd managed to do it. It was, I was a bit of a little shit. But as I said, it was, so I really did love Call of Duty, but as time went on, for me at least, it just got stale. It really just got stale. I think a lot of franchises get stale. So it'll be interesting to see what the new one's like. But for me,
in Game
if they
Pass,
could bring that,
though.
I know. I just haven't had a chance to jump onto it. And
one of the best modes that they've added that I really enjoy is it's called HVT. So each time, so there's a member of your team, member of the other teams, like your VIP that you've got to protect while taking the other one out, and you've got to stay a VIP as long as you can. And it's a really fun mode, really fun mode. Like if you move as a team, you're good, but most people run off and leave you, and then you're just trying to fend for yourself.
You fend for yourself, which is just gone. See, the thing that I want to see is innovation. So one thing I switched from Call of Duty was to Battlefield, because they had huge buildings that would then fall down. It had something different.
Yeah.
Where, remember like that first time when that building collapsed on a whole lot of players, and people were like, "Oh my god." This is amazing. This is amazing. That sort of thing, or destructive environments that completely wiped out. And I kind of just miss the innovation of things. I want something more than just pew pew pew.
Yeah.
Whether it's perks or whether it's something to really get you addictive into it. Or it's a combination of everything. I haven't felt that for a while. And that's one of the reasons why I like Killzone, because Killzone brought in a hell of a lot of some fantastic perks that were just really, really good, that worked well against each other. So you'd have a particular, I don't know, for one of my favorites was I'd have a turret. So I'd put a turret down, I'd lay, a line of defense. But other people, like the sniper guy, he could go invisible and go past the turrets. There was always a counteraction to your action with your perks. And if you played well as a team, you could easily kind of, it was like a very easy backwards and forwards sort of.
Yeah, that was always the hard bit, though, wasn't it? Getting a team, actual people that use voice, that you communicate with, and you can actually plan and play. It's hard to get that these days.
That was the thing. I never really played voice, and that was one of the good things that I liked about Killzone. The players were instinctive enough that you didn't need to tell your teammates what to do. They would stay close. They would watch your backs. They would, if you did a hand signal, they knew what the hand signal meant. and they were watching your backs. It was not like it's not like it's like today feels a little bit like Fortnite, where you just go around and go pew 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 pew. That's it. There is no real team effort. One of the reasons as I said, I really got on well. I could go on to Killzone and multiplayer and find randoms, and we would just have a fantastic time, whether we lost or not. But they would be really long matches because people would literally, they would work together, even if there was no voice chat.
Yeah.
And I think, I don't know, maybe it's the attention span these days. I just don't. I don't think. I don't know. Unless, of course, you've got some really good group of friends. That's the thing now. I think you kind of need a good group of friends to play. I don't think you can do much randoms these days. I mean, I might have been out of the loop, so maybe I'm wrong on this one, but finding randoms to play with, that's a lot harder these days. They're good, if that makes sense.
Oh, Luke Steele just posted 39 minutes ago. His PlayStation 5 Pro has arrived. I'm jealous, Luke.
How did I miss that? Is that on X or I see.
Yeah, I'm jealous. I wish I had mine.
That extra pixels, in the distance is going to make his day.
I'm gutted. I'm absolutely gutted.
To be fair, the kind of TVs and monitors that bloke has, he probably will notice it.
Yeah, he's got like a 20K TV.
Yeah.
Because yes,
I see it now.
See Luke Steele experiencing greatness. Yeah, I am very gutted. I've reached out to Uncle Sir Jimmy. He hasn't got back to me yet, sadly. To
Mr. Savile.
I really want one, but I'm not allowed one. I've been told I'm not allowed one, so I'm gutted.
So why don't you sell your PS5 then?
Sell it where? Where?
No one wants it. I suppose you're right.
No, yeah. It's you tell no one's really taking things like that anymore. It's
they give you nothing for it.
Yeah.
CX.
Yeah, they won't give you much for it.
I would sooner pass it on to a family member and get the PS5 Pro. I will get one. I just probably won't be this side of Christmas, sadly. It's a shame. It's a shame. I'm not allowed a PlayStation 5 Pro. I'm not allowed to put my Christmas decorations up yet. I'm considering divorce in the wife. Put it that way.
You're not allowed to put the Christmas decoration up? Why is that?
Nope, because she just told me
12 days before and 12 days after.
Nope.
Those are the rules.
Need to put a pass soon.
In our house, it's usually the last weekend before December or December 1st, depending how things fall. But because my son, his partner, and grandson are moving back home next week, so I thought it'd be nice to have all the decorations up in time for him to come in. But my wife didn't agree, so I said to him,
I agree with you there. That would be nice.
Yeah, I said, right, I'm going to have to go and speak to my solicitor because I think this is clear grounds for divorce. And she just
she was robbing a house going, I'm going to have lots of house then.
Aha! No, see, I made sure everything's in her name, so I'm the one that benefits.
You're going to get at least 15%. That's going to be amazing.
I'll try to get that frozen fish out the freezer and hide it inside the mattress for a few weeks.
Yep. No, I don't know. I'm one of those guys who shoves it up 12 days before and 12 days after.
I'm ready now. I've even got if you notice my name, Santa BMG.
I have not seen a post yet of you eating a mince pie, and until that happens, it isn't Christmas.
Oh, I've had mince pies already. Yeah, bi-weekly.
What I'll do is I'll get a mince pie, and I'll eat it just wearing my Speedos and socks. And
it's got to have cream. It's got to have proper cream on it. Now, is it going to be brandy cream, or is it going to be...
There'll be cream. Don't you worry about
that. We're talking about... not homemade cream. We're talking about something different here.
Sorry. I thought you wanted like an American pie style of eating...
whipped cream, yeah. Round his nipples as he's made his own Santa version with whipped cream. Mince pies belong in room 101. Clearly, that's it. Daz isn't from the UK. He says he's UK Dazless. He can't be from the UK if he doesn't like his mince pies. Next to be saying he doesn't like a fry up, or or a Cornish pasty, or a shepherd's pie, or Yorkshire pudding, or beans.
Beans and cheese inside a giant Yorkshire pudding. Oof, lovely.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see that.
We get that on this end. You've been here, Removable. You've been to my hometown. Didn't reach out to me to see if
Yeah,
to meet up, or you
did not reach. He pulled through my area too, and he didn't even ring.
He tells you afterwards.
Yeah.
Oh, I was there.
Yeah.
If I knew you were here, I would have shouted you out. I was like, yeah, right.
Yeah.
I've got. Look, I'm too busy at that point tasting the delights, and when that happens, it's like a brain fog. Brain just shuts down. I'm too busy just enjoying the local delights. It's just.
I could have taken you to visit Toothless Betty in Eric Morecambe's old house, but no, you missed that.
A Toothless Betty. I've heard the rumours, but you just can't. I just can't beat a good. As I said, a good. Yorkshire pudding, and it's just. I'm even getting hungry again now. That's because of you gits. What I had? We had a Yorkshire wrap.
Oh, classic.
What's that?
Oh,
Tell him, BJ.
Oh,
he doesn't know.
Oh. Yeah, I've had the Yorkshire wraps before.
Hello? Well, that's it. He's pissed off. He's fucking angry. He's.
Have you know? You know what it is?
I went too far, didn't I?
You've pushed the button. Clearly, you
can't. Mince pies are amazing. Now, what is horrible? What is horrible is Christmas puddings. They're horrible.
No, I think you can get a really good Christmas pudding where you have some like chocolate or a little bit of orange in it. That works exceptionally well.
I've not tried that.
Yeah, you see, you got your traditional, which is obviously your dried fruit. But if you try it with a little bit of chocolate or a little bit of what's it called? I can't think of what's the old orange. It does work. It opens it up a little bit more.
Oh.
Yeah, it does open it up a little bit more. I'm surprised you've never had a Yorkshire wrap.
I've been there a lot. I may have had one without knowing. I don't know. Is it Sunday dinner? Is it Sunday dinner in a wrap? No, it's not. Is it?
It is a Sunday dinner in a wrap.
No,
Yeah. Basically, it's a Yorkshire pudding wrap with all the trimmings all wrapped up into a nice, effectively looks like a burrito with a Yorkshire pudding, and it is.
So I've 100% not had that before. It sounds good.
It is delectable. It is something that once you've had it, you'll want it
Where
again.
Where have you gone?
I reckon. You know what it is? I reckon the missus heard. She was watched downstairs on TV, hearing about the divorce, and that was it. She's pulled the internet cable out.
Yeah.
Either that, or he got so drunk that he kicked the internet cable out himself.
Yeah, I don't know what's happened.
I'm back.
Have you calmed down yet?
No, I kicked my leg out and knocked the Ethernet cable out of the back.
I told you. Did I just say that?
Yeah, you literally said.
I literally just said either his missus has been watching, he listened to the podcast, and she's basically pulled the internet cable out, or he's kicked it out. Yeah,
okay. I moved because I've got a Secret Labs chair and I have it rocking. So when I was at Yorkshire and I leaned back, put my foot forward, caught the cable, and said, "I'm like, what the fuck? No, Yeah, Yorkshire pudding wrap. Yes, I've had Yorkshire pudding wraps. We've got beef in there, a little bit of mash because
It is a Yorkshire. It's your roast dinner in a wrap. It's like a burrito.
Bit of veg in there, bit of sweet corn, bit of carrot, a little bit of gravy because you can't have too much, otherwise it goes everywhere. And it's like folded, so it's like a flat Yorkshire pudding, and you like fold it over. So it's like
It's like
a
it's
burrito.
got, stuffing is in it. Honestly, it is.
It sounds nice. It really does.
It's really nice.
It does work wonders. It's one of those things you wouldn't think it works, but it works.
Yeah.
And then you kind of realise it's like, well, what is it? It's basically, like you get those very large Yorkshire puddings, and sometimes you put the entire roast dinner inside it. It's effectively that, but just rolled up into effectively a burrito style with some gravy on top, and it works. It does.
When we have sausage casserole, we get the giant Yorkshire puddings, mashing, and then slow cooker for the sauces and the sausages, and you just pour it all on top.
Exactly. The best one I have, I'll tell you what, when we was going up there, it was a trucker's cafe that we would always go to for our sausage casserole. I tell you what, the portions you got were huge, and it was a good price as well. It's about £5 for a really good bowl of mash and sausage casserole, and it was hearty. It was a really hearty meal, and we probably visited there more than times than the bloody local trackers were doing it, because we just like, this is great. I'm not joking either. We was literally there almost every night. It's like, why cook when they can cook it for us? Just go to the truckers cafe, sit down with the kids, have a good meal. That was proper good food. It was home cooked as well.
Yeah, you weren't eating crap.
I wasn't eating
crap. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. It was home cooked food. Truckers, and you know what truckers are like. They're not going to have small portions, are they? They're not going to have that foie gras. It was a good sized portion. It's like it did me every time. It was something I enjoyed thoroughly, sort of thing. But yeah. If you've never had a Yorkshire pudding wrap, try it.
Highly recommend.
It is.
But you have to come north to get it. None of this southern rubbish.
But you see, whenever I say you go north, are you north where you have Yorkshire pudding as a breakfast, or are you north where you have Yorkshire pudding as a dinner?
Well, I can have it as both, but I would class anything.
That's the thing.
Anything from Chorley upwards as north. Anything else I class as south.
But you haven't answered the question. I saw it, and you know what you're doing. You're trying to get out of it.
No, I've had it. I've had it as breakfast.
You have your Yorkshire pudding with your jam as breakfast?
No, that'll be no then. No. But I have had Yorkshire pudding.
You're not north then, are you? You're more south.
No, I'm not south. I am northern.
You've joined us southerners, you have.
No. If you live south of Chorley, you're a southerner.
I don't know. These southerners not even have their Yorkshire pudding with jam in the mornings, eh? What's wrong with you, hey? How could you say you're northern?
That's it. I'm officially banning you from the north. Removable. You're officially banned.
I tell you what. The only thing that really annoys me is the bloody toll gates driving up there. An absolute arse they are.
Yeah, it's not a good drive. But if you go north of Morecambe and you head further north, Morecambe, for anyone that doesn't know where Morecambe is, it's the home of Eric Morecambe from Morecambe and Wise. And if you're too young to know who that is, it's where Tyson Fury lives.
Luke Steele has piped in here. I just want to say first, welcome to Luke Steele. Thanks for popping in. Nice to see Dreadpool still there. And also, Luke Steele has said, literally nobody in Yorkshire has a Yorkshire pudding with jam. And the source is Luke, because Luke is a Yorkshireman. He told me a while ago.
Is he a Yorkshireman now if he's not having Yorkshire pudding with jam? That's like,
He's not a Yorkshireman.
That's like saying, like, you're
I honestly can't picture Luke.
You don't eat Cornish pasties.
I'll be honest, I can't picture Luke having a jam with Yorkshire puddings at all. I can't.
He's definitely much more sushi for breakfast.
Oh, he is, but he's Yorkshireman. I didn't know this till he told me a while back because I didn't
I'm
know.
from
I didn't.
Sheffield, yeah.
I can't tell by his accent, but obviously when I start listening, I can. I don't know all the northern accent, but to be fair, when you listen to him, he does sound like he's from Yorkshire because obviously he is.
He doesn't. He has a posh accent because he's the king of Jersey. And you should refer to him as His Royal Highness.
Sheffield, from Sheffield, you bastards, he said.
Yeah, that's well. That's you not getting a knighthood in Jersey.
Oh god! I tell you what, it'll be just you'll know. You'll be at if you go for a beer. That will settle everything. Just go for a night in the town with you two, and you'll see what happens.
Yeah, that would be a good idea. I do. If I get blackout drunk, crazy shit happens. Like the worst thing that happened to me when I got not the second time. The first time I got really. If I mix drinks, I'm fucked. I'm absolutely well and truly screwed. The first time I got blackout drunk, I think was it my 21st, and it was in a nightclub with partner at the time and a few mates and what have you. And I went to the toilet, right? And I don't remember anything after going to the toilet, but I remember waking up, sat across from an old couple on a ferry on my way to the Isle of Man.
Bloody hell.
Perfect.
No idea how I got there.
This is proper. This is what you call a proper night out.
Yeah, no idea how I got there, but I'd spent the day with this old couple because it wasn't until the evening until the boat was coming back, and I had no idea how I got there. And the second time, which was it might have been my 25th, 26th, I woke up. I was in a place called Garstang, which is about half an hour away from where I am, and I woke up. I had broken into someone's shed. And all I was wearing was one sock. I had nothing else. No clothes, no shoes, no nothing. And I was quite lucky that some lady had put her washing out on the line. So I had grabbed some of her garments and adorned her garments. I stood at a bus stop waiting for a bus to take me back to Morecambe. Interesting time.
I remember falling. Has everyone been to Ministry of Sound?
Not for a long.
Do you remember the wall?
Yes,
do you remember the wall of
yeah.
bass? Do you remember the wall of bass?
Vaguely, I used to be quite out.
Yes,
of it.
I do remember.
I fell asleep against the wall of bass. That's how pissed I was.
Oh Jesus!
That's how pissed off I literally fell asleep against the wall of bass. Apparently, my head was just bouncing against the wall for about an hour, and then I kind of woke up, went to the bar and had another drink, and I was fine. But I was literally my head was like right against the wall of bass. It was yeah. There's some. It used to be some good times, I reckon. Yeah, the things you do when you're young and pissed.
Yeah. Now I have a couple of beers and I sit down and I think, how am I going to get out of this chair?
Yeah, the back starts to seize. You click the moment you get out, move to your left or move to your right. You start making sounds as you get up.
Yeah, I need one of them hoverboard things. What do they call them? Just to get around now. I think that's the next step.
You need one of those chairs that moves forward and then lets you stand.
Oh yeah. Oh, massages you at the same time.
Yeah, you get those chairs that basically leans forward and then it allows you to stand up. You didn't have to kind of do anything. You just press the button and it goes. Zzz.
Oh.
See? Yeah. Comfort, mate. Comfort.
What's UK Dazzlers? I snagged on my girlfriend's mother when I was pissed back in the day.
He shagged. He didn't.
Oh right. So is that your partner now, Dazzy?
I don't think that would be the case. Oh, the good old days. But
You
yeah,
make a few,
yeah,
so
yeah,
you-
yeah. I said you got to try and do a catch up at some point. Get down, have a few beers.
Well,
Get up and have a few beers.
yeah, you'd have to, tell us when you're in the area and that, not just
Well,
tell us after you're in the
I nip
area.
up. I nip up north like every year. I do it once a year. We always go up north every year.
Have you been up north yet this year?
Yes.
Oh, why don't you give me a shout?
Because at the time I completely bloody. That's the thing is when you've got about 3 kids and a missus, you forget about it, and we're just like we're always doing something. So it's like
You probably
I
drove.
need to kind
You
of-
probably
I need to
drove
go
past
on
him
my own,
without even
don't-
knowing.
Yeah, probably because I wasn't far from Morecambe, to be honest with you. But yeah, no, it's one of those things. We go up there at least once. We go every year, and it's the same place we go every year. I won't say where it is because it's a lovely spot. But it's
Oh, the Manor House.
Hmm?
The Manor House place.
it is a. Don't say what it is, you numpty.
I don't know where it is actually.
It's it is an old manor house, and they've turned like some of the rooms into basically apartments, and I rent it out every year. We've booked it for 5 years in a row. You know, it's just something that's really good that it gets us up north. We basically get out and walk around. We get out and enjoy the hills, enjoy the lakes, and it's
Yeah.
it just gets us out of where we are, sort of thing. Kids get to enjoy themselves a bit, So yeah, it's one of those things. I try and do it every year at least once because until the kids are older, I'm not taking them on the plane.
I get fed up with you southerners coming up to our northern lakes and taking advantage of all our stuff and then leaving all your crap behind for us poor northerners to clean up after us.
You have no problem with that. Don't you give me that. You love all our money, keeping you alive.
Yeah, that's true. Keeping me
So you can buy your £500 PlayStation Pro.
700.
It's so cheap. Oh, it's a steal at that price. It's such a steal at 700 quid.
Oh, just that. I do. Oh, yeah, that is. Do you think that'll come down in time?
No. Well, there's obviously we know Trump and all that's president, and he's on about tariffs and stuff, and tariffs in the UK as well. Looking at going up next year, so I can imagine you're going to see a price increase before you see a decrease. Black Friday deal, maybe. January sales, maybe, but I think overall you're going to see an increase in everything.
Yeah, I think if I remember correctly, reading the tariffs, they're going to do basically what China's doing to America. So China basically does like 200% tariffs on American stuff. So they're basically right. Okay, you're going to do that. We're going to do it back to you. Which, yeah, you're right. So anything produced in China will now be more expensive. Because he wants to try and, if I remember correctly, he wants to try and make it, he wants to bring like a lot of the stuff back into America and start creating it from America.
He
instead.
tried that last time. It didn't happen.
Yeah, but now
to be fair, he didn't have mandates. A lot of the stuff that he tried, he was
to be fair, he's got both houses now, so he could do that stuff.
So
he didn't last time.
Well, it's a bit like anything. He's got the chance to do it. If he doesn't do it, people are going to bite. He's on his own head, isn't it? It'll be he has no excuse. This is the thing that same as what we had with our Conservative government at the time. It was like you had the house, you have everything. If you don't do it, it's no one else to blame, and they didn't, and so everyone blamed them, and it'll be the same thing. Once you've got everything, you can't moan it as someone else's fault.
No.
So that's what it is. It'll be, people. I think a lot of people will be just like, right, okay, you've made all these promises. Let's see if you can do it. You've got everything now to push it through. There is no excuses now. So if it all fails, it'll just come down around his knees. Same thing as what the Conservatives do.
Yeah.
But that's a political thing anyway. But yeah, so I think the tariffs will probably. I don't know. It depends on the deals because they did say they're going to try and do some deals with the UK but yeah, definitely. I think the Taiwanese market, though, they said they're going to try and do some deals. Try and bring, if I'm not 100% sure. I think they're trying to bring a lot of the Taiwanese specialists to America instead. So they'll still so they can try and basically bring down, hopefully, the CPU market down. So, but that's still if they can try and because at the moment China's really heavily trying to get Taiwan, because then it will hold. Taiwan is where the majority of the materials is created for a lot of the actual motherboards and chips, isn't it?
Yeah. We're
So-
just gonna have to see, but it kind of makes it thinking further. I feel like for the next gen consoles, what price they're going to come in at, because I think it's safe to say none of them are going to come with a disk drive. It's going to be a separate thing, but price wise for consoles, I think you're going to be looking at what the starting point of what the PlayStation 5 Pro is at the moment. At
I
700.
don't know, because I think Microsoft was happy to take the loss if it meant the subscription service went up.
Which it didn't.
PlayStation
It didn't though.
wasn't.
It didn't though go up.
No, that's what I said. If it went up, so I don't know. It'll be. But one of the issues they had was they didn't have much in terms of exclusives. So again, that kind of didn't help matters. Now they've bought a whole load of studios. They should, and this is a guess, that should get better with time, but you never know what's going to happen. Where on Sony, on the other hand, they've got their in-house exclusives, but then but because they didn't have enough money, they couldn't take the loss. So therefore, that's why they put their prices up. So it's almost like a little bit of whether or not Microsoft would continue to take that loss and then use its subscription and its first party to try and regain that. But as in terms of PlayStation, I suspect that'll probably be, you're right. They'll have to kind of increase costs.
Yeah.
Because they've got to buffer against the losses somehow. They've got to buffer against the losses somehow. So and that's where the prices have gone up, I think, because of that. I don't know. I mean, to be fair, it's not as if they're losing money, is it? They're not, as far as I'm aware of. Both parties are kind of making money.
Yeah, they're making money. They both had a loss to start with, but the PlayStation 5 was making money before the Xbox did. But yeah, the Xbox just makes money as well now. But I just don't think because if you think about where Xbox was and how Microsoft looked at Xbox, it was just that ugly stepchild kept in the basement type situation, and now it's kind of come a very big part of Microsoft and a big part of the business. I don't think they will be allowed to take a loss. I don't think it'll be a Phil Spencer decision or anything like that. I think it's going to be no, if people are serious about gaming and they don't want PC, they don't want cloud, they will pay the money for the console. I don't think the next console on both sides, they are not going to take a loss. They're going to make a profit day one.
I think I think the reason why they're going to push it is that basically, if you want the top, as it's starting to become, I think, if you want the physical platform, the physical hardware, you want the best of the best, you'll pay for that experience. Same thing with the PlayStation Pro. If you want the best of the PlayStation, you'll pay for the experience. You'll pay for that hardware. Other people, if they're not, they'll stick with the PlayStation 5. That it'll be. I think it'll be out there, and I think price ranges there is availability for for them to keep in the ecosystem. Is a case of effectively are you a whale? Will you pay for the top tier system?
Yeah,
a lot of hardcore gamers will.
It's still going to be up in the air, because it's like I can go on now, and I was having a look earlier today that you can still get the PlayStation 5 Pro. It's not sold out. It's not out of stock. Whether that's just because it's a mid-gen refresh, it's not a next-gen console, but it may give them an idea on numbers on what price.
There's a couple of people who are PlayStation, and they're umming and ahhing. There's like the upgrade. They're umming and ahhing if the upgrade's worth it. And to be fair, I don't think they would generally and ah if there wasn't a cost of living crisis at the moment.
Yeah.
I think they would have snapped that up day one, but because of at the moment there is a kind of cost of living crisis, they are being a bit more hesitant. So I think that is, and these are people who are like they buy the top tier console every single time. There is no it's always pre-ordered. it doesn't matter if it's a mid-gen. They pre-ordered it months in advance. I think this was the only. This is the very first time I've seen a few of them. They're like, I may just wait. And I think that it was more to do with the fact there was a cost of living crisis than it was, say, purchasing that they, then rather than not purchasing the actual pro version. I think that's played more heavily, especially in the UK right now, with the taxes going through the roof.
Yeah.
People, there are so many people at the moment that are like, oh crap.
I want one. I'd happily. I've even looked into selling one of the kids to China to cover it, but not as easy.
You make a profit.
Yeah, it's not as easy as it used to be.
So I think at this stage it's going to be one of those things that it'll be. I think that's really hit home. And until you start seeing taxes go down, start seeing more money in people's pockets, I think that's gonna hinder a lot of things. And unfortunately, I think that's probably the same across the world in terms of the Western world at the moment. It's going to be people are just tightening their belts, and unfortunately, tightening their belts means that a lot of hardware is probably going to wait for a little bit. Same with the games. It's like, are you going to buy a game, or are you going to kind of maybe I'll skip it this time?
Yeah, I think they should. Even though I'd love an next-gen console tomorrow, but I do think it would be in the best interest to delay the next generation, probably between 2-4 years, just to try
2028 or 2030. I think would be.
I would agree. I think that would be quite
because the jump is. I don't know. For me, I looked at that. There is some fantastic specs for the Pro. I don't know. And again, it's one of those things. I don't know whether. And the same thing there was like, is it a big enough upgrade? And to be fair, the upgrades are going to get smaller and smaller.
Yeah.
Obviously, there is going to be some bigger things when it comes to cloud gaming and stuff like that. But and AI, and obviously then your ray tracing, that's going to come in. But I think you're right. I think maybe people are pausing for the mid-gen refresh, and they're waiting for like the full-on refresh. And I think, in fairness, as I said, the friends I know, they wouldn't have cared normally. They would have just gone pick it up, bam, straight away. Yes, pay the money. But because of like the cost of living crisis, I think a lot of people are pausing more, and they're looking into it more rather than just going straight deposit. Don't get me wrong. There's loads of people still doing that.
Yeah,
I know loads of people who've just like, bought it. Of course, I bought it. What are you talking about? But I think there's also a big, vast majority now that are going, a bit like yourself, not buying it right now, but you're going to buy it next year.
Yeah, I'll be picking one up. I will be picking.
So
one up.
It's even that's a delay in terms of Sony getting money. It's not saying that it won't sell well. It's just that actually there is a delayed. That it isn't the what I classify as the day one purchase.
Yeah, I think I've got to agree with it.
Day one purchases are kind of like paused at the moment, I think.
But it's a good thing because it not only people are holding off at picking it up, but like as I was reading a report today, like all these scalpers that have bought these consoles and they can't get rid of them. People are buying them.
The PS5 Pro, are they been buying the PS5 Pro as well?
Yeah.
Oh god, yeah, of course they would. Yes,
doing
it.
Everything they get. Good.
They can't. Yeah, but they can't sell them. They can't sell them because one, a lot of people are holding back, like myself, and obviously they're asking a stupider price. But they're realizing, hang on a minute, we bought all these PS5 Pros, yet they're still in stock and people can buy them direct from PlayStation. And I think it's this month, later this month, they're coming to Amazon and Walmart, Tesco's, Asda's, and things like that. So they've kind of they screwed themselves there. Yeah, on the disc drives, but they bought all the disc drives. But I don't want a disc drive because I'm fully digital anyway.
I think also didn't they say that they've been was it? Isn't it PlayStation's targeting those who purchased more than one, or was it like more than 3 or something like that?
Yeah. It's, and you've also, I think it was, I like, was it Japan. It's China or Japan. I can't remember which one it was. It's in order to pre-order it direct through PlayStation or through the PlayStation, the PlayStation Store. You had to prove you had X amount of hours in the PlayStation ecosystem across.
Yeah, it was 3 months, wasn't it, or something stupid,
Yeah.
or something like that. It
Yeah.
was like 3 months you had to prove that you'd been to ensure that what you guarantee you weren't.
That was it. So scalpers had just set up bot accounts, couldn't get it because they couldn't prove they had PlayStation accounts and X amount of time on PlayStation.
Which I suppose is a bit of a git if you're going into that generation. You've never,
It is, but I think they also knew that there'd be that ready available. It was more of for the initial launch. I'm assuming it's not.
Oh, you think it's like a phase that'll probably go like say 6 months down the line. They'll get rid of that requirement.
Exactly. It's just a temporary thing just to stop scalpers, so other people can get access to it. Because the PS5 Pro, to be honest, is aimed at the hardcore PlayStation fan that wants the best possible console available. It's not aimed at. It's like the PSVR, the PlayStation 4
Pro. Or your intermediaries, or Yeah, no, exactly.
It's aimed at that hardcore and the ones that want the best console out there that's available. They want the newest thing and they're willing to pay for it regardless. They're the ones that have invested time in the ecosystem anyway. So it's a good thing to have in place for initial launch, and then, part way down the road, lift that ban, and then anybody can pick it up. Then it won't matter to scalpers because people that have got it are going to have it.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's the thing. I think if there's ways to kind of stop the scalping, I don't think most people would be against it. Once they realise the reasoning behind it, they're like, yeah, okay, fine.
Yeah, it's how they do it. If it's more of a worldwide thing, possibility, come next generation, and how they're going to do that. Because as you said, you're going to have people that are coming into consoles possibly for the first time and they can't buy one because they weren't playing on previous generations. It's like the previous generation people get priority. It's how they do it and how they're going to do it. That's going to be interesting because they're going
to be fair, which is their main core fan base. Let's face it, it's your core fan base. Of course, you want to expand that fan base, but at the same time, if it means that actually you have to wait an extra 6 months, is it that bad? And of course, they'll use the PR excuse, as you said, scalpers, which is not it's not a PR excuse, but it is like, what I'm saying, is semi excuse.
But how long is it going to be before scalpers have trained bots to show they've got X amount of time on Xbox?
Oh, there'll be workarounds and
they will be able to bots and ChatGPT and AI is getting that fucking advanced.
Yeah,
they will work it out. They will.
Yeah, personally, it'll never happen. But the other option you have is you can only buy it direct from a store in person. You can't.
I think that should bring. To be fair, I think they should bring that back. I don't see why that cannot be done. I really don't see. But it still can't be done. It still can be done without a doubt. It can be.
Yeah, but then you're giving a cut. You're giving a cut to retailers, and that's what they're trying to put out.
No, what I'm just saying is you go from Amazon, right? Amazon. You go through Amazon, and basically you limit it. It's like Amazon 1 per credit card. And then that's how you could filter it through, couldn't you?
Yeah, there's a way they could do it. Yeah,
if you've got an Amazon account, it's in terms of Amazon will take the hit, if that makes sense.
Yeah. There's going to be different ways they're going to look at, but like this option, it's worked this time, but it's not going to work next time because scalpers are going to adapt and figure out how to get around it, and that's the issue. They're going to have to keep coming up with something. They're always going to find a way,
unless of course you do. And to be fair, I don't see why they couldn't do what I would like to see them do. Would be like, do you remember like the old launch days? I can't see why they can't do launch days. Like say, okay, say it's next gen PlayStation. Do a launch day in London, and it's at this one store, and you can purchase it directly from there.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea. Yeah, go back to the old school.
Make it a whole event. Make it a big event, and just say it for 2 weeks. You can purchase it from here. Otherwise, you have to wait 3 or 6 months to purchase it from another thing. Do you know how many people would get down there? Would travel?
Oh yeah, I would.
Exactly. And then you make it a big event as well. You know, a big PlayStation event as well. People would, and if that became, people would love that. That would kick everything off, I think. And then you could keep doing that. You'd be like, if it does well, you do it again next year, and the same thing. And it kind of brings back that in-person enthusiasm, because you can imagine it. Think of it, it's like, as you said, you'd buy it. Well, you know, Luke would be down there as well. You could meet up with friends. It would turn into like a meeting, an event.
Yeah,
I'm not saying like an EGX something, but something similar you could do, couldn't you?
Yeah.
Make it a big play. They used to do that. They used to do big PlayStation, the launches, didn't they?
Oh yeah. It was a whole big thing. It used to be a big thing. You had PSX. They did all that. Special events where they were selling the consoles and things like that, where you could only get it from there. Yeah, there's things they could do. There's ways they could do it, but
you buy your extra controllers, your shirts. Before you know it, you spent well more than what you were originally purchasing. You bought some games there as well, or something like that. Yeah. Bam! You could make it easy. You could easily make it into like a. You did that for like every major city. You could easily make it like a big thing.
Oh yeah.
And I think you'd recoup your money back as well from the initial costs.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
I don't think it would. I don't see. To be fair, I don't see why Xbox and PlayStation don't do that. It doesn't have to be. You don't have to purchase a building and have a core, office there. But you could do event like as you said, like a premiere event. Yeah. Bam! Here you go. Come down. Hang with your PlayStation buddies at the same time.
Interesting.
Purchase your console.
Nice thought, but I'll be honest, I can't see it happening.
No, if Uncle Jimmy was still in charge, it's a possibility.
I think at this stage, the problem being is they're probably looking at other events and going, well, people aren't going to these events. But it's a catch-22. If they don't support those events, no one's going to go to the events.
Yeah,
it's true.
Look at EGX. Look at EGX. Barely any games there. So people were moaning at how bad it was. And it's like, well, yeah, because there's barely any games there. If there's nothing there to entice people to come along, what did you expect was going to happen? You need to make it a huge event to make people want to go to these things. And the trouble is, if you don't put the funds in, you don't put the effort in, you don't put the money into it, no one's going to turn up.
Nope.
And then it basically is a catch-22, because then they go, well, they didn't do it last year, so what? You imagine next year's EGX. Do you think that's going to be better or worse after this one?
If there is one, from what I've heard and seen.
Exactly. So you can imagine. Imagine if they imagine like this year, if Xbox had turned up, Nintendo, PlayStation, all the big hitters had come down. You imagine how that event would have turned around. People would be like, Jesus, it's like the old days. Yeah. I'm going again next year. But you know what's happened? Didn't turn up, barely anything. Well, what's the point? You're going down next year? Nah, can't be bothered.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a catch-22. If you don't put the effort in, and that's the same thing. I think if they've forgotten. I think they've forgotten what they could achieve in real world events. It's easier to go, as you said, it's easier to become like digital because it's less effort. It's less, but in the same time, you're making a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah, it's all money, isn't it? It all comes down to money, costs, and where they're going to make the most profit and save the most money by putting on an event. And digital's the way to go. PlayStation, they were the first to drop out of the E3, and they just did their own event. They didn't have to pay for any booth space.
I think they haven't. I think a lot of big companies haven't realised what they're missing out on. Because it's not as if like live events aren't kicking off and aren't continuously to get better. One of the ones I go to is WASD, which was a kind of a continuation of EGX Res. That has got better year after year after year because people are willing to invest in it. Yes, it's small, but people are willing to invest into it, so therefore people go to it.
Yeah.
But when you have no one investing in it, well, it's the opposite effect. So again, it's one of those things. It's if they're willing to invest, I still think if they should bring back, even as like just a test one, bring back huge, hardware launches, and I think it will revitalize the industry. The trouble is, I don't think they're willing to take that risk.
No, not in today's climate and the way things are. No one wants to take risks because it's rather going to go very well or it could go up in face.
You know what's going to happen though? It'll be the first person who takes the risk and makes success, then everyone will jump on a bandwagon.
Yeah.
So it's almost in a way they're eyeing up the competition. It's like, well, is Xbox going to do it? No, they're not doing it. Well, we're not going to do it then. It's Nintendo. Well, if Nintendo, it's almost like, well, who's drawing first? And it just takes one of them to make a success, and then all of a sudden everyone will jump on the bandwagon and it'll come back again. But until that happens, or till someone takes that risk, and it could be like, as I said, like the WASD events, someone else has taken on board that risk and built it up again. It just needs someone to do it, and the trouble is there isn't anyone. I don't know. It in a way it kind of needs. I almost kind of feel like it needs an independent to kind of kick it off, to showcase the big boys what they're missing out on.
Yeah, it needs something. It needs that big draw, that big indie game or big publisher game to sort of get that ball rolling, to bring other people in. You want that attraction that's going to make people come in and want to go, and then see where it goes from there. But will it happen? I doubt it. I don't think it's something we're going to see anytime soon. In-person events are just dying. They are. It's a dying breed.
Well, that's again. It's because I wouldn't say this is different. See, I would say in AAA studio in gaming, yes, it's dying. In indie gaming and retro, it's actually growing. So that's the thing. I think maybe it's just a cycle where all of a sudden someone takes over from. And then they'll jump on the bandwagon, and then it will come again. It's almost like a wave. I'm wondering if it's just like it's dying. Someone decides to kind of push it a bit harder. Oh, it's back again. Oh, then it's dying. It's I'm wondering whether that's the case. Just because as I said, like these smaller events, they're getting bigger. It's getting bigger and bigger. The West one is. At some point it will get to a point where it's like, well, we need a bigger studio. We need a bigger place to do it.
Yeah.
So it's not as if those events aren't bringing people in, because they are. They're still making money. They're still making, there's still events coming in. It's just, it's not probably big enough yet for the big boys. But at some point, it's a bit like, when you lose a big AAA studio, or what takes its place? An indie studio. And then they get bigger and bigger and bigger. And then they become the next AAA studio. And then they fizzle out, break apart, or something happens to them. And another indie game studio takes its place and gets bigger and bigger and bigger. It's the gaming cycle, isn't it? Unfortunately, it's so. When people say, "Oh, things are crumbling," I think no. I think they're just going through its natural cycle.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. The economic situations doesn't help, but you think about it in terms of gaming. This is probably one of the best years we've had in terms of gaming.
Oh yeah,
in terms of releases, in terms of games.
Yeah.
So gaming isn't dying. If anything, it's getting stronger.
The games themselves, they're not dying. It's just the in-person stuff. I just think there's so much struggles. Like there was an event in Birmingham every year called Insomnia. That's now gone. There was some controversial stuff behind that, but by all accounts, it wasn't making money. So the person that sort of ran it kind of took the money and ran, if you will. So that's another big gaming yearly event gone now, and there's another void there where something needs to take its place. But it's who's willing to do it. That's the
Well, I
thing.
think it'll probably end up being an indie. Something indie will be happening up there. You know, it'll only take something else to take its place. I think it's one of those things. It's like who's willing to take the indie, that place.
Yeah.
You know, I think the smaller things. Okay, maybe it's a bit naivety, but I think in terms of, we seem to go through cycles of where all of a sudden we just don't want to go out and see anybody, but then it'd be like, well, actually, I want to meet up with them.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's just gonna be dribs and drabs. I think it'll be 1 minute it'll be like nothing's happening. I think you're right. I think the real big events, they're probably going to be disappearing from maybe, I don't know, another 5-10 years. But I'm hoping that the smaller ones will get bigger and bigger to bring them back in.
Yeah, but I would say what I have noticed, especially like from like say Bethesda, Activision, things like that, you see more and more of the flying out journalists again to big game events and previews instead of just doing like obviously through COVID and just after COVID, everything was done online. You connected to a server and played that way or watched that way. Now they're doing big proper press events, bringing journalists out. And
exactly. I think that was a stopgap. I think people saw the benefit of say online digital events, but it'll never impact as well as say a live event.
No, definitely not. But maybe it's a thing that's slowly going to start bringing that back. But who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows?
That's the way I'm leaning towards. I'm leaning towards the fact it's tapered off, and then it's going to take it's going to need time to kind of gradually come back again. You know, because everyone's had things have happened, as you said, economic situations, different things. I think it's that dip before that it slowly rises again, and it's just one of those things you just got to keep an eye on to see what happens. Maybe it just takes a couple of indie studios to clamor together to make an event, and people will go, well, actually, we should go there next time. All it takes is like some small events to get bigger and bigger and bigger and make more money to draw it back in again. So I'm hoping there is. I mean, like Gamescom still go, isn't it?
No, Gamescom's been and gone. It's finished.
In terms of events is still going, isn't it? It's still not, isn't it?
It is, but it wasn't. The big complaint about Gamescom is it was nowhere near the size it was the previous years. It had reduced in size by a lot. What was like 4, 5, 6 halls, it was down to, I think it was like 2. So, like, size-wise, it had been downsized a hell of a lot. So, because like now, you've got Game Awards, but that's just an awards event. It's not really a gaming thing. So now,
see, this is the thing that hasn't helped things. I think they need to bring the Game Awards back to live studios.
Yeah,
if they did the Game Awards in an event, that would increase that event's status.
Yeah. Possibility.
And that's the thing. It's this, but of course, it's money. It was like, why do it when you can probably, just stick it in a room and just invite 30 people? Bam, you've done your job.
Yeah. That's it.
But
me and Luke need to meet up so we can compare Uncle Jimmy pictures.
What do you mean pictures? I thought you said you got it tattooed on your backside.
Oh yeah, but I've also got 2 big full suitcases of pictures that I took. Will not confirm deny if they were by consent or not, but I've got pictures.
It's gonna be one of those. You've got pictures, It's not a little laptop, is it?
Does Uncle Jimmy have Astrobot rubber ducks for his bath? I can neither confirm or deny.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. I don't know. I think it's one of those things. For me, I'm looking positive towards the future. I can see the fact that things are going to. It's what's it called? It's like it's old media and new media, and old ways and new ways. Things will evolve. Who knows? In 30 years' time, maybe we'll be going to events with robots showing us around.
Who knows? Could be.
Robots are starting to become a thing now.
Elon Musk's robots. I want one of them. Yeah. I really want one of them.
You just want someone to serve you beer.
Yeah, just that's it. Just go to the shop and go and get me some Fosters. Yeah.
Alexa, could you walk my dog for me, and whilst you're there, can you get me a 4-pack of Fosters?
Oh God, yeah. If anyone gives you shit, you execute Order 66.
Please turn on the vibration function.
oh, well,
Oh
woman, and
God.
robots.
And the irony is that they're actually apparently quite affordable as well. They're like the same size, the same. I think he's trying to make them the same price as a car, so it's like 20,000.
Yeah, I'd have one. I'd send it out to work for me. I wouldn't have to go and work no more.
Well, that was the thing he was touting. Is like it says it's not just a robot servant; it will work for you. It'll also do stuff for you as well, so you
Yeah.
can make money off of it. So it's like, you know, fair play. I mean, you know, we've been promised tomorrow's world for so many years. It's about time we got it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know, or it's like it was the 1960s where the robot would make you your breakfast, and it's like, oh yeah, by the 1980s or 1990s, you're gonna have someone that wanders around the house and cooks and cleans for you. And it's like, no. What did we get? We got Spice Girls instead. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, you can have it. It's like Tesla robot. Get me good at Call of Duty.
Oh, let's see, that's gonna be controversial there. That's a. Did you use your ChatGPT robot to kind of get to this stage? Why? No, really.
No, I'm just good.
Just
Very good.
Yeah, it's one of those things. I think it's going to be an interesting. It's weird, isn't it? It's like you think about it. It's like some of us old fogies, we saw the internet born,
Yes.
and in that
yeah.
time, you know, we came from a period of like analog and phones, and you
Yeah.
know, and now we're going to like the internet, and now it's like possibly before we pass away, we'll see robot servants and flying vehicles. And you know, maybe living on Mars. You know,
Yeah. I remember getting my Vodafone GSM phone, which you got the big giant card to
I
top
had
it
the
up.
Sage V6.
Oh,
The
did
Sage
you?
V6.
And then the Nokias. I remember getting
Yep.
my Nokia and Snake. It was like revolutionary. I could play a game on my phone. Oh, I could go to the newspaper and pay £1 and get
We
a
all
little
know
graphic.
the one thing. I know for a fact. The one thing you didn't care about Snake. You was too busy, absolutely excited for that 320 by 320 picture you could take
Yeah.
of your willy and send it to your
Oh,
mum.
yeah. Yeah. Oh, well, not my mum, but yeah.
Look,
Doris next door.
I can take a picture and send it to people. It's like, yeah, we all know what that was for.
Oh yeah, back in the day.
Yeah.
Oh, and I tell you something. I remember, and when the Matrix came out and they made the Matrix Nokia. Oh, I had one of them. I had one of them bad boys. I used to hold it out in my hand and go, slide it open. Someone's calling me.
I definitely can imagine you doing that. It's yeah, as I said, you know, imagine though you think about it in like 20 or 30 odd years time, you could be remote working from Mars.
Yeah. God, I'd like to say, remember when, like, say, the internet first came in, you had
Yeah.
dial up and it had to make the stupid noise and connect. And if some awful person rang that house phone or picked it up and it cut you off, oh my God, you were fuming. I used to have the wire that ran from the kitchen all the way through the hallway, all the way up the stairs into the bedroom, plugged into the back of the PC, just so I could ask Jeeves a question.
It was the old days. The old days.
Oh, the good old days. Half these people probably don't even know who Jeeves was. He's the original
No.
Google.
That's true. Ask Jeeves. Yeah, I still the better ones is where you could book your holiday on your TV before the internet using teletext.
Teletext. Do you ever play Bamboozle? Do you remember that on Teletext?
I remember. Yeah, I remember that.
Even Bamboozle.
Or or is the sex phone lines 0800 50 50 50. That was on your teletext.
Oh, it was.
It's this really like 2D image of like a boob, and it's like text now for real, some real hot ladies.
Jesus, oh my God, that's going back. Oh, and the one thing that no one ever has to deal with now is oh, I want to download a picture or a 5-minute video, and it would take like 24 hours, and you just saw one page go across the screen into the file at a time from the internet, and the next
Or
page.
you had your Sinclair 128K, and I'm gonna code a circle, and it would take you about a week to put in the code, and then it would draw half a circle because you made one line of error. You know, it's like, God damn it!
Oh, the good old days.
Yeah, I said 20 or 30 years time, we could BMG could be playing Call of Duty 22 in Mars.
Yeah, I'd
Don't
go.
like it. It's a bit dusty.
If I ever got the offer to go,
the Fosters.
I'd go. Yeah,
Do you know what? I would as well,
I would go. I'd go.
because you can just for the experience of living on another planet.
Yeah. Well, that and just I get away from the wife and kids. So it's
I don't think
benefits all around, really.
you're telling me you've got this little hut
Yeah.
in this dusty wayside. There he is, like 70-year-old. BMG, how you doing? And it's like, there you are with this dial-up connection. It's like, bloody hell, we've gone back in time.
I think you can take anything with you.
Why can't we get a gigabyte straight through to Earth? Christ, it's taking forever.
I'd want to. Yeah, I'd be the first person to get pissed on Mars. Oh, just the benefits.
Yeah,
I'd love it. I'd love it.
But yeah,
it would be crazy times.
It's been a fun show tonight. We're over the 2-hour mark. But yeah, we've talked about all sorts we have tonight. So much so that I've got to change the description and thumbnail. I have.
All right.
I don't understand why you put description in the thumbnail, to be honest with you, because you just know it's like
I'm used to changing it anyway. We just talk about anything here, as you know.
Exactly.
We do.
That's the idea.
Exactly. I've been also linked BMG in the description and the XPN site and the YouTube. Everything in there as well. Thanks BMG for coming on the show. I need to listen to your XBL. It's been a while, but I will listen this Thursday.
Yeah, we're going live.
Well, what time is it on?
It'll be.
Promote it.
I haven't done it yet, but it's probably going to be 8 p.m. GMT over on the XPN network. It'll be me hosting, and I haven't decided what we're talking and chatting yet. I've not figured any of that out. Yeah,
I suppose it's more structured than my show, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a bit more structured, but we are looking at planning other stuff. But I need to get the whole team together to do what I want to do. I've got an idea of the thing I want to do, which is a bit different. Essentially, as a teaser, it's build our own RPG. There's parameters in there to do it, and it's quite interesting. So keep an eye on that coming in the future. But that should be fun. But yeah, we've got lots of stuff going over at the moment. You're seeing a lot more live streams, video reviews, written reviews. As Lewis Venomous Mask has joined our team now.
I like that. I like that. Good lad, Lewis is. Yeah.
He's a writer for XBN, and he's brought a team of people to write as well. So, if he writes some incredible stuff. How he does the things he does, I don't know, but he does some really amazing reviews, which are all up on the site at the moment. He's just reviewed the new Call of Duty glasses from Gunnar Optics, which is they specialise in making glasses, prescription, non-prescription, and sunglasses for gamers. So so you could sit at the screen for hours, and it filters out all the blue light and all this sort of stuff. But we've got that going up, and some more in the future. But yeah, some really interesting things coming, and we're just getting stuff done behind the scenes. But yeah, keep an eye out for some interesting things from there.
Sounds good. Thanks for coming on.
No, thank you.
And RemovableSanity.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me.
As always.
Yeah, so it's obviously great to have BMG on, bring him back, have our little bit of a laugh. He can moan at me for not telling him I'm down there,
That's it. I'm putting the cameras on the border.
I'm not saying down there. I'm not saying down there. It's up there, isn't it? Up there.
Cameras are going on the border, so I can keep an eye next time.
But yeah, it's obviously great to have him on, sort of thing, and it's obviously great to be back on again. Hopefully, we'll get him on again. Not as long, hopefully this time. But I know you're a busy guy.
Yeah, I get easily distracted by things. I'm the kind of guy who sees a squirrel outside and goes and chases it with a stick and forgets what I was doing.
But no, it's brilliant to have you on, mate. Obviously, have you on again soon. You mentioned where you're going to be on. You mentioned where we can find you. Is that correct?
Yep. So yes, you can find me on obviously like Twitter/X at Ballman Gamer, Xbox, PlayStation, Ballman Gamer, and over at the XPN network. You can find me. And just anyone can reach out. You want to talk, you want to banter, you want to argue. I'm always down for it.
On a dirty Saturday night,
Nudes, nudes. I could share my Jim Ryan nudes with anyone that's interested. Luke,
if you want a cheeky, was it Yorkshire pudding roll? Just obviously, clearly, have a chat. He's got the menu. He's got the recipe for it.
I do.
Exactly. For those who kind of want to catch up with me, again, a bit like BMG, I'm on Twitter, Xbox, Rumble, YouTube's Minds under the name RemovableSanity.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. And you can find me on, under Stubz Gaming, you can find me on YouTube, Rumble. I am on Minds. I've got to do more on that. I got my account back thanks to Removable for telling me what to do. I got back in. The support got me back into that, and we're on Apple Podcasts, not Google, Spotify, and any other podcast platform. We are. So I'll upload it tomorrow. I would have thought usually it's the day after. They'll download it off YouTube. Well, through a 4K through the downloader. But yes.
You don't download X in?
No, it often goes. I don't download it off. Can you download it off X?
Yeah. You should be. Your account should be able to download it if you're blue tick, I think.
I'll have a look. Yes, I will have. I didn't know you could do that, so I'll have a look. Definitely.
It depends on what it is, because I don't know what the frame rate is. It could be that actually it's better for YouTube because you get a better. You maybe get like a 1080p version where maybe.
Well,
X
I don't know how many
like
people. I mean, I put the video on Spotify, but obviously, if say BMG listens on Apple, it just gives him.
You just need the sound, don't you? So that's what I'm saying. You could probably.
What I'm saying is, it just gives him the audio. If you're on Spotify, you get the video. It depends. Yep. It does. But I'll have a look after this. I will. But yeah, thanks everyone in chat for coming along tonight. It's always good to see people in chat and having a good chat on there. It's been a good show tonight, and I'll see you next week. I think Masuku's back next week. I think. Hopefully VJ might be back by next week, but I'll have to get another guest, or maybe I may try and get Luke's if he's free. Thoughts on this PS5 Pro?
In-depth review.
It will be with Luke. In-depth review from Luke. If he wants to come on the show, he can.
Yeah, and I want to know how he got Jim Ryan's face on the side of his Pro.
Exactly. He's got like a limited edition one. He has. He's like
the
only one in the world.
The King of Jersey.
Exactly. Right, everyone. Thanks, everyone, and I'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Cheers.